Hi, welcome to Yogi Mom Life. I'm Kathy, and today I'll be guiding you on how to practice yoga safely during your pregnancy. Let's begin. There are 5 areas I would like to focus on when practicing yoga during pregnancy. And whether you're an experienced yogi or you're new to yoga, I recommend following these guidelines to practice safely. Let's begin with the breath. Now, when you are breathing in yoga and you are expecting, keep your breath steady, smooth, and slow. So, for example, do not hold the breath. Sometimes in yoga class, a teacher will say, breathe in for 4 counts, hold for 2 counts, and then exhale for 4 counts. You will avoid that. No breath retention, no holding the breath. Instead, you will inhale for 4 or for 3, and then exhale for 4. So you're keeping your breath moving naturally at all times. Also avoid heating types of practice because that can overheat you and your baby. For example, Kapalabhati breath. That's the breath where you're pumping your belly. Now that wouldn't be good for many reasons. The pumping of the belly, not good for you or your baby. Too much pressure on the abdomen, and then also it does overheat the body, which would not be helpful. So remember with the breath, slow, smooth, steady, and don't hold your breath. Next, I'd like to talk about postures on the belly, and I will show you that. So postures that are on the belly will bring too much pressure to the uterus and it'll be really uncomfortable for you. So don't recommend that. You wouldn't be able to do cobra, for example. So if you were on your belly and you have your hands here coming into cobra, that would be too much pressure. So try to avoid any of these kinds of postures for the belly. What I used to do instead would be to do cat and cow instead of cobra. So no postures on the belly, too much pressure. Twisting, that's the third area. So we discussed 5 things we wanted to focus on. The first one was breath. Second one was postures on the belly. And the third one would be twisting. Gentle twists for pregnancy. When you go into those deep twists, it can cause too much strain in your abdomen and it could further separate your abdominal muscles, and you don't want that. So a safe way to practice a twist would be to keep your navel forward and twist above your baby, above your belly. And I'll show you what that would look like. You can bring the palms in front of the knees, take one hand behind you for an open twist, honoring your baby's space. And you can look behind you, and as if you notice my belly is facing forward, I am doing a gentle twist in my spine, but I am not twisting in the lower back or the abdomen. And you can switch sides. And that would be a safe twist. Now, the fourth thing that I would like to focus on is inversions. Advanced inversions are not recommended for pregnancy because there's a risk of falling. So even if you are an experienced yogi and you feel comfortable doing this, your body is changing. Your center of gravity is changing because your belly grows every week. And also your muscles and joints are more supple. That's because of the hormone relaxin you have. So because of all that, you're not as stable as you were before pregnancy. Your muscles in the neck aren't as stable for headstand, for example, or in the wrist for handstand. There's a greater risk of falling. I recommend only doing gentle inversions like Viparita Karani or legs up the wall, and I'll show you that on the wall space. Now, another thing about this posture is how you get into it. You really can't get into it in a traditional way because that's not good for your abdomen. So the way I would do it is to come into fetal position on your side, and I'll show you this on the wall. And then once you're in fetal position, the sits bones connect to the wall space. I brought my blanket with me because I'm going to put that up. And then swing the legs up. This is a gentle inversion. You're upside down, the release of gravity, but you are not at risk of falling. Now, placing a blanket underneath the sacrum, feel more comfortable and also release some of the pressure on the vagus nerve. So that is an option. In my experience teaching prenatal yoga, half of the students were okay with this and half weren't. So by the time you're in second trimester, this might be way too much pressure on the vagus nerve and can cause dizziness or lightheadedness or even nausea. So I had students that, they just kind of just didn't do inversions, and that was okay. And then I had other students that loved to do this till the very end. So I think it depends also on your body, on your pregnancy, but definitely stay with gentle inversions. Now to come out, you would come back into fetal position to your side and slowly press up. You would wait there a little bit longer, but that's the fourth thing I wanted to focus on. And the last thing I want to focus on is shavasana, and that is the extended rest that you have at the end of class. Now, usually that's done flat on the back, maybe 5, 10, maybe even 15 minutes, depending on the class. So that is an extended period of time. Definitely recommend lying on your left side instead, and that's for optimal circulation. I will set you up here so that you can see. You may or may not have these props in class, but just to be aware of them. So maybe you can either bring them to class or make sure you grab some extra props. And you would use a pillow or a blanket for neck support. I'm going to use a rolled up blanket to hug, and then you will take a bolster or a cushion or a couple of pillows and use that underneath your leg. Lying on the left side on your pillow, hug the blanket, and then bring your top leg, your right leg, on top of the bolster or cushion. And ultimately you want to bring the knee in line with the hip. So you may even need to bring an extra pillow under there. Sometimes I put blocks underneath the bolster. That works. I've also had students, they say they feel really comfortable with just placing the bolster between the legs, that gives them more comfort. So all of these are options, but this is the last thing that we will be focusing on when practicing safely is shavasana, lying on your left side, and making sure that you have all the props that you need to be comfortable. And that'll allow you to rest deeper in shavasana, to connect with your baby, and to relax consciously. So those are the 5 areas of focus. Breath, and we'll move through them again. First one being breath, no breath retention. Second one, postures on the belly. Avoid any pressure on the uterus. It's very uncomfortable. Twisting, gentle twist only, navel forward, twist above your belly. Inversions, gentle inversions. Try to skip the advanced ones. Really, there is, just that risk of falling is great. And then the last one being shavasana. So for shavasana, always lying on your left side, especially second and third trimester. First trimester, you might actually be okay lying on the spine because baby is so small. There's still not a lot of pressure on the vagus nerve. But once you move into second and third trimester, definitely lie on your left side for shavasana. I hope that these guidelines help you to practice safely. Thank you for joining me today and allowing me to guide you.